Use of articles in written English is very much important, and most of us make so many mistakes, and we make inappropriate usage of this very important element of grammar. It is also included in parts of speech as well in some of the books. Articles are basically very important segment of our writing. Sometimes these are called determinants, sometimes these are called adjectives. Why? Because they qualify nouns. So today we are going to talk about what are articles, what are their types, how to use them, what are common mistakes which we make, and how to make an appropriate usage of them so that our writing becomes crisp, clear, accurate, relevant, and leaves a very good impression on the mind of the reader. Whether we are writing an essay or a paragraph or a sentence or a business report, or we are engaged in commercial correspondence like business letter, letter of inquiries, bills of lading, thank you notes, resume, CB, job cover letter, reports, letter of transmittal, or any form of writing. Articles are always there. Somewhere articles are used as adjectives, and being adjectives they modify, they add to the meaning of the nouns, and these nouns come after them. Like a person or the person. When I say a person, it means any person. When I say the person, it means we are talking about a special person. So they determine the nouns, they make them specific as well. So these are used as adjectives and as determinants. There are two types. One is the definite article, which is the or the. We'll see when to pronounce it as the and when to pronounce it the. And the other type is indefinite article, where we have got two categories, a or an, which are quite confusing some of the time. We use a or an only with a singular noun. We can use the article the with any noun. We also use some as a plural equivalent of a or an. Like some shelves were put up. Some shelves were put up. When we say the shelves were put up, it means that we are talking about some specific kind of bookshelves. Some shelves, talking about the quantity of shelves. We can also sometimes use a noun on its own without an article. That's called zero article or application of zero article. Zero article means when we are not using any of the article, definite or indefinite, before noun. Like accidents can happen. So here accidents is a generic term, it's a general term. Talking about the basic use of the articles, we use a before a consonant sound and n before a vowel sound. For example, a visitor, an exhibition. The concept of those five letters A, I, O, U is not to be taken literally. Those A, I, O, U basically represent 20 sounds of vowels. Somewhere some sounds are silent, so we have to have the basic knowledge of it. A and N, these are called the indefinite article. It means they do not point out any specific person. When we're talking about something in general, we use a or an, whereas the is a definite article. So, two types of article which we already discussed. We use the when it is clear which one we mean. There are three ways to use definite article. Let us see. The first way to use the article the or definite article, which is the, is by repetition. It means that we say an exhibition when we first time mention it, but the exhibition when it is mentioned again. So first time it will be an exhibition, means any exhibition we are talking about a general one, but since we have mentioned it in a paragraph when we are going to talk about the same event, we will be using definite article. It means that now the speaker and the listener, they both understand which exhibition is being talked about when it means exhibition just mentioned. So this was number one usage. Number two usage, when there is only one, like the captain. Now the captain is a single person in a team or even on ship or even on an aircraft. Captain will be the same. There can be co-pilot, but captain will be the same. Number three, because a phrase or clause after the noun makes clear which one is meant. It means that the use of article here tells about the particular. Like we say, the woman sitting behind us. The woman, a special woman who was sitting behind us. We use a or an to describe and classify. For example, this is a nice place. So talking about the place, we are classifying what kind of place it is. It is, or this is a nice place. The Economist is a magazine. The Economist, now it is the name of an international magazine. So we are going to classify it. The Economist, what is it? It is a magazine, one of the magazines. Articles can also have general meaning. For example, the bicycle is a cheap means of transport. The bicycle is a cheap means of transport. What kind of means of transport is bicycle? A cheap. Everyone can afford it. There is lots to interest a visitor. To whom many things will interest a visitor, any visitor. So when we are going to classify about the persons, we can use a or an. A plural or uncountable noun on its own can also have a general meaning. For example, accidents can happen. We can use either a or an or one with a singular noun. An or one. With a singular noun, one puts more emphasis on the number. We use a and an only with a singular noun. With plural or uncountable noun, we use some or the noun on its own. Example, like in a singular case, a shelf was put up. Shelf is singular, so we are using a before it. Why? Because essa is a consonant sound. So with consonants, we use a. Plural, shelves were put up. We can also write some shelves were put up just to give an idea about the quantity. Uncountable, furniture is an uncountable noun. So here we again use some. Some furniture was brought in, or we can also say some items of furniture. Some items of furniture were brought in. So we'll use word because we're talking about the items. Is it sugar or the sugar? Remember, with an uncountable or plural noun, we often have a choice between, for example, music. It means general music, any kind of music. The music, it means we are talking about specific music. Music usually helps me relax. The music was far too loud. Now, these two examples can make the meaning clearer, where we have to use uncountable or plural noun without any article or with an article. Article with school and prison. The places which are commonly visited, we do not use any article before them. For example, I hope to go to university. And when there is no article before university, it means that I am a student or I am a lecturer or a teacher or I am an employee in the university. So this is the implied meaning of this sentence. But if I say I hope to go to the university, it means that I am not an employee, but for a special purpose, I am going to the university. Likewise, names of people normally have no article, but where we have article, it means that we are talking about the entire class. For example, Aslam is the Shakespeare of our class. Aslam is the Shakespeare of our class. So the Shakespeare here, it means that we are trying to elevate his status about his love for literature. The form of the articles. Before a consonant sound, the articles are a. Now this mark is sure in the dictionary, and the. These two are phonetic alphabets which represent the sound. So the written letters or the alphabet show the written form of the language, but as far as the spoken utterances are concerned, we use phonetic alphabets. So before a vowel sound, they are an and the. For example, a will come before a consonant sound, like a shelf, a visitor, a big exhibition. An will come before the vowel sound, like an accident, an exhibition, an interesting display. The will come the shelf, and the will come the accident. The accident. Now, where to use the and where to use the, we'll talk about it. It is the pronunciation of the next word. The next word means the word which is coming after the article. That matters, not the spelling. Note, especially words beginning with O, U, or H or abbreviation. For example, a one-day event. Now here, although it is O sound and there should be an, but when we pronounce it, it is va sound. And va sound is a consonant sound, a one-day event. A union, a uniform, union, U. Now this is represented with this phonetic alphabet J. J is basically pronounced as J sound. A union, uniform, a university. So we'll use A. A European country, Y-O-U, U sound. A holiday, a U-turn. Likewise, an only child, an umbrella. Now this U is there, but U is giving the sound of vowel A. So before a sound we use an umbrella, an error, an R because H is silent here, an MI5 agent. With some words we can either pronounce H or not, for example, a hotel or an hotel. Also an historic moment or an historic moment. A, an horrific accident. Leaving out H is a little formal and old-fashioned. In slow or emphatic speech, we can use A, N, and D. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a special item in our show. When D is stressed, it can mean the only, the most important. Like entry is the place to be on Grand National Day for the Ronald Reagan. We also use A or N to classify to say what something is. For example, what kind of bird is that? A blackbird. Now here we are using article A to classify the kind of the bird, a blackbird, isn't it? The Sears Tower is a building in Chicago. The Sears, we are talking about a special building. This includes a person's job, nationality, or belief. For example, my sister is a doctor, not my sister is doctor. The author of the report is Scott. I thought you were a socialist. Now, articles in the phrases of time. In a phrase of time, we often use a singular noun without an article. For example, in winter on Monday. But the noun takes a or an or the if there is an adjective before the noun or if there is a phrase or clause after it. For example, a very cold winter. The Monday before the holiday. The winter when we had all that snow. In years, we can say the party was formed in 1981 or the party was formed in the year 1981. The war lasted from 1812 to 1815. In seasons, a winter comes, can spring be far behind? We always go on holiday in the summer. The winter of 1947, a marvelous summer. In months, June is a good month to go away. The event will be in March. That was the June we got married. So the June we have used definite article the before the month June to specify it. Similarly, in the days of the week, Wednesday is my busy day. I post it later on the Wednesday of that week. Likewise, parts of the day and night. They reached camp at sunset. It was a marvelous sunset. We'll be home before dark. I can't see in the dark. In phrases of time, we normally use these nouns on their own: daybreak, dawn, sunrise, midday, noon, dusk, twilight, sunset, nightfall, dark, midnight, but we use a or an or the for the physical aspect, for example, in the dark. In meals, generally we have no article till the time we want to make it special. Breakfast is at 8 o'clock. The breakfast we had at the hotel wasn't very nice. We cannot use meal on its own. For example, the meal was served at 7:30. In names of people, a person's name doesn't normally have the in front of it. A title is a part of a name and has an article. For example, Dr. Freed's Aunt Jamila. But sometimes we can use a name with an article. There is a Parveen who works in our office, means a person called Parveen. The Parveen I know has dark hair, the person called Parveen. The gallery has some Picassos. We all know Picasso was one of the greatest painters. Here, some Picassos means some pictures by Picasso. Thank you. We end here. If you have any question, go in the comment box and mention it. Article is a very wide area, very vast area, a large topic, and today we have shared the beginning of the use of article. There is much more to learn and also the practice part as well. So in the coming videos, I will be coming up with more videos on the topic. Thank you.